Welcome back to Hannity. So last night, Donald Trump and Jeb Bush had a showdown in New Hampshire. Now, the two GOP presidential candidates held rival town hall meetings just miles apart. Now, the candidates went toe-to-toe on immigration, and things even got personal. Take a look.
They have to come in legally. They've got to come in. If we don't have them come in legally, we don't have a country. Building the wall is something that has to happen. It's not expensive. Won't be expensive.
I don't believe that we should take people that are here in the shadows and deport them all. The cost of that would be in the hundreds of billions of dollars. It would rip up communities. It's not appropriate. But criminals should be deported.
I would say between Common Core, his active love on immigration, and skin in the game with Iraq, that's the third one that we've now added, I don't see how he's electable. Jeb Bush is a low-energy person. For him to get things done is hard. He's very low energy.
Mr. Trump doesn't have a proven conservative record. He was a Democrat longer in the last decade than he was a Republican. He's given more money to Democrats than he's given to Republicans. When people look at his record, it is not a conservative record, even on immigration.
Here with reaction from the Washington Times, Charles Hurt, and from National Review, Rich Lowry is with us. All right, first reaction to that exchange?
Well, first of all, I mean, Trump is just so mesmerizing at the moment because he says things that no one else in public life does, that he's attacking Bush for being a low-energy person. It's kind of incredible. And I'm a little surprised that Jeb is directly engaging with him at this point, because about a month ago, Jeb said, look, I'm not going to talk about Trump anymore, and it shows how Trump has had much more staying power than most people would have expected. That Bush is now taking him on.
Talk about the staying power, Charles. I mean, he defies, I keep saying it, conventional political gravity, and he seems to come out of every controversy, excuse me, stronger than when he went in, right?
Yeah, I mean, there have even been some statements that he's made that sort of surprised me, and I thought that he might not make it through, and I've been pretty believing all along, and he's made it somehow makes it through. But that particular attack that Rich was talking about on Jeb Bush is just devastating, and he may as well be talking about the entire Republican Party when he just talks about there's just no energy out there. And this is what I think is so appealing about Trump for so many people, is that a Jeb Bush event looks like some sort of country club rally, and a Donald Trump event looks like a monster truck.
It's interesting
event.
You say. I noticed that, and I said this before, that some of the other candidates in the Republican Party in general can learn something from Donald Trump. And Scott Walker got very aggressive yesterday in attacking the D.C. establishment and saying that they have failed and been ineffective about repealing and replacing Obamacare. Said it in a very forceful way. I would argue he feels more emboldened because of Trump. True or false?
Well, there could be something to that. And there's no doubt that Trump has just captured people's imagination in a way no other candidate has done on the Republican side. And all these controversies have helped him because people are so sick of people having to apologize and cry and bow and scrape when they say something that's notionally offensive to the PC crowd. And then also we shouldn't underestimate, obviously, Sean, and you don't, the power of the immigration issue. And I think he's pointing the rest of the field in a more populist direction on immigration, which is a very good thing.
All right, let me go to the issue that came up. Hillary Clinton comes out with an ad, excoriating Donald Trump for daring to use the term anchor baby, which is a justifiable term. If Trump fires right back at a reporter who also wants him to stop using that term, watch these two.
I'll use the word anchor baby.
Greater enforcement so that you don't have these, anchor babies, as they're described, coming into the country.
You mean it's not politically correct, and yet everybody uses it? So you know what? Give me a different term. Give me a different term. What else would you like to say? Or you want me to say that? Okay, I said, no, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
What other term, Charles? There is no other term to use. So,
it's clear to me that, we have seen over the years, and you've chronicled this, Sean, that, the left has been very successful at sort of cowing the right and even sort of like mainstream people into thinking that everything is somehow racist, everything is somehow hurtful, and everything is off the table. But all Donald Trump is talking about doing is enforcing laws, such as if you're here illegally, making you go home. And and what is radical about enforcing laws that have been duly put onto the books? But the left has been so successful at terrifying everybody, even a lot of Republicans, from even sticking up for what is like basically rational. And I think the American people are on Trump's side on this.
I actually hope Donald Trump tackles this horrific Iranian deal, which we'll talk about more later, because he seems to draw the attention. 24 million people.
Yeah.
I mean, the highest rated Republican primary debate in 2012 was 6.5 million people.
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off of him. And look, you look last night, and someone was on another network was saying this. Someone called them last night and said, you have to look at Trump. And she said, what channel? It's like every channel, because everyone's covering him wall to wall. And this will be one of the challenges. I don't. I don't like him. I don't like his style. I understand a lot of his appeal, but for me, a conservative doesn't go out there, and this is something he said 2 weeks ago, and praise single-payer health care and say it works in Canada and Scotland, or tell you that a wealth tax is a conservative idea. That doesn't make sense.
It's interesting because I asked him about all those positions. He goes, I was just a businessman throwing out ideas. And I said, have you thought through them? Now he gave the answer, which was actually, he talked about portability, crossing state lines, job to job, et cetera, about healthcare savings accounts. So it's obvious that he is evolving into, a very strong conservative on specific issues.
We'll see.
But some people don't like that. But you got 5.5 months.
Yeah, but he's still all over
He might be able to convert you.
A lot of things.
Rich Lowry, National Review. William F. Buckley, I could use a few terms that he used with Gore Vidal that wouldn't exactly be deemed politically incorrect. Would you like me to mention a few?
This is true.
Okay. Thank you both.
But Sean, I think it's important that obviously Rich is exactly right. He has changed on a lot of these things, and he should get attacked by the other candidates and let the American voters decide which one is more trustworthy, and they go with it. Voters are very good at that, I think.
I would say Buckley was even more politically incorrect than Trump, and you know what words I'm thinking about.
At least in that exchange,
yeah.
Yes, so you're right.
All right, coming up.
Thanks, Sean.
Just when you thought the Iranian nuclear deal couldn't get any worse, wait until you hear what we learned today. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is coming up next, then tonight.
You have criminals, you have black racialists, you have cop haters and anarchists have now formed together this faux movement, if you will.
Sheriff David Clark called out the Black Lives Matter movement last night on this program. Bo Dietl, Eric Guster, they respond. Go head to head, straight ahead.